Dude, Scooby-Doo. It's your boy Wavy State, Wavy TV back at y'all with another one. Let's get it. The Dallas Mavericks have to win game 4. It's the last game in their home arena before they got to go back to Boston. And if Dallas loses game 4 and they get swept, this is going to be a permanent stain on Luka Doncic's legacy. There's nothing that Luka Doncic could do after that could take the stain off of his legacy. He could win 4, 5, 6 championships. It doesn't matter. People are always going to talk about him getting swept by the Boston Celtics. And the reason why is because when you look at Luka Doncic, he's only like 22, 23 years old, right? At such a young age, he has broken so many records. He's put up LeBron James, Magic Johnson numbers, statistics, right? Just off the charts. And dude is just like, he's a machine, right? Like, he may not be the best three-point shooter, but he can shoot threes. He can take it to the paint. He can get to the free throw line. He can post you up and hit a post-up jumper, right? And you're on a team with Kyrie Irving, who's an NBA champion, the best ball handler in the history of the league, a clutch shooter, right? Kyrie Irving can shoot and make the craziest contested shots that just have you thinking, how the fuck did he make that? You understand what I'm saying? And they made the Minnesota Timberwolves, who beat the NBA champions, they made the Minnesota Timberwolves look like they ain't have no business being in the conference finals, right? So with that being said, you're going up against the Boston Celtics, who you didn't win any games against in the regular season. Kyrie Irving has now lost, 12 or 13 games straight against this team. And it's not a good look, guys. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that they were down 21 points in their home arena and they came back, cut the lead to 3 points, and Luka Doncic fouls out. Not only that whole game 3, Luka Doncic was crying and bitching to the refs. And that's something that that's always been my biggest problem with Luka. Listen, guys, listen to me. I've always liked Luka Doncic as a player. I do, because he's skilled. He's really, really good. But he's a crybaby, man. He's soft. He's soft as baby shit. And what people don't realize is this is why Rick Carlisle got fired. Because Rick Carlisle and Luka Doncic didn't get along, and Rick Carlisle would constantly tell Luka to stop crying to the refs, because it got to the point where Luka would be crying so much to the refs that he wouldn't get back on defense and the team would score because he's sitting there talking to the refs. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Jason Kidd, he's publicly said to the press conference, like, yo, I tell Luka to stop doing that. Stop crying to the refs, get back on defense and get over it, right? And Jason Kidd almost got fired. A lot of people forget that, but Jason Kidd almost got fired 2 years ago. Why? Because he couldn't get along with Luka Doncic. Kristaps Porzingis, you know why he got traded? Because he couldn't get along with Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, he's a selfish player, and he really doesn't like to pass the ball. The only reason he passed the ball to Kyrie is because he trusts Kyrie. Once he saw Kyrie could cook and Kyrie could, do things that he can't do, Luka's like, all right, nigga, I'll pass you the ball. But if y'all look at last year when them boys first teamed up together, it was like Luka wasn't even thinking about passing the ball at all to Kyrie. And that's another problem with this series. Kyrie and Luka still don't know how to play with each other. They don't know how to play with each other. They don't try to pass the ball to one another. You understand what I'm saying? And every time they play, it's always a one-on-one thing. If Kyrie's cooking, Luka just stand on the other side of the court and watch. If Luka's cooking, Kyrie just stand on the other side of the court and watch. Luka and Kyrie, they never try to pass each other the ball. They never try to set up plays for each other. And one of the biggest issues is, and everybody's been saying this, they don't have an X factor. We've yet to see a third player besides Kyrie and Luka show up and score some points and help Dallas win a game. Derrick Jones Jr. hasn't showed up. PJ Washington hasn't showed up. Tim Hardaway Jr. has barely even played. What the fuck? Guys, what the fuck happened to Tim Hardaway Jr.? Tim Hardaway Jr. was always the third star on Dallas. What the fuck? Now, listen, I know Tim Hardaway Jr. was injured in the regular season, right? And he came back, and he hasn't really looked the same. But Tim Hardaway Jr., bro, if you're healthy, bro, you got to step up. Jason Kidd, play Tim Hardaway Jr. Because PJ Washington he's not scoring. Derrick Jones Jr., he's not making any corner threes like he's been doing all season. You got to play Tim Hardaway Jr. Give him more looks. Tell Kyrie and Luka to pass him the ball. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's been a good scorer since he was on the Knicks. We know Tim Hardaway Jr. can cook for Dallas. You understand what I'm saying? He can put up 15 points easily. He can shoot the three. He can get to the rim. Come on, man. So they gotta win Game 4. Even if they win Game 4 and they lose Game 5 in Boston, at least they don't get swept. Right? When you're a player on the level of Luka Doncic and you have another person on your team that's a superstar, not an all-star, Kyrie's a superstar, you cannot get swept. Because Boston has two superstars. You know what the difference between Boston and Dallas is? Boston doesn't just depend on their two superstars to score. They got Drew Holiday, they got Derek White, they got Al Horford, they got Porzingis, they got Pritchard. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they play more as a team. Dallas depends on two players, Kyrie and Luka. They're not using all of their players to score. And Boston is a super good defensive team. But if your other players ain't stepping up to score, okay, all I got to do is either make Kyrie have a bad game or Luka. That's it. So, Luka, you got to get the job done Game 4, my boy. Because if not, we're going to start looking at Luka like Kevin Durant. The same way we look at Kevin Durant going to Golden State as a permanent stain, Luka getting swept against the Celtics is going to be a permanent stain. And we know damn well if they get... Listen, at the end of the day, it's not guaranteed for the Mavericks to ever go back to the finals because they're in the Western Conference. There's so much competition. The Clippers weren't even a healthy team when they played the Mavericks. Kawhi Leonard didn't play all of the games. So let me know what you guys think, man. It's your boy Wavy. Subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up. Come on.
So amazing. Yeah, we rolling up cushions in different flavors. So amazing. So amazing. When we fucking and waking up all day.